All right, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to our Thursday night training. Obviously, we've had a ton of people join since I last said hello just a few minutes ago. So, as always, we always have to give ourselves a 5-minute grace period here. How many of you were on last week with me and enjoyed what you saw? Enjoyed the training, enjoyed seeing Patricia. I don't know, Patricia, if you are on here tonight or not. I'll scroll through here and look. Yep, there's Patricia. How many of you enjoyed seeing one of our students hop on and go live with our guest presenter? All right, seeing a lot of people say yes. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it was completely unexpected. Patricia just popped on her webcam and went to work. So it was a lot of fun. And it gave me an idea, okay? It gave me an idea for this week, and this is kind of the goal and the reason behind what we're doing this week. How many of you would have been scared to death to do what Patricia did in front of close to 1,000 people around the world? Be put on the spot and have to just literally go to it and make it work. Okay, so for those of you that weren't here, Patricia went live, built a website, set up an autoresponder, pushed all of her messages there, literally set up her entire business online. Had never done this before. I see a lot of you saying scary, not going to do that, very nervous. Right. So what would cause you to be nervous about getting online and having somebody walk you through something like that? Typically, it's fear. How many of you would agree? I see a lot of you saying fear. How many of you would agree right now? You know, we like to self-assess, right? We like to look, especially on these trainings. I like to give you both sides of what I feel like you need to be successful. Oftentimes, you need the practical application, meaning you need to know how to set up an autoresponder. You need to know how to send emails. All of that stuff is great, right? But to have success, it really does all start with having the right mindset and with not having fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of trying to do something you've never done before, fear of maybe failure. How many of you right now would admit, of course nobody can see this but me, and I won't call your names out, that you are oftentimes right now, you are scared. You feel like maybe fear is holding you back from the success that we're trying to help you achieve every single week on these trainings. Just say yes in the chat box if that describes you. Okay? I see a lot of you saying yes. This is okay. There's no problem with this. I see hundreds of yeses coming in on the chat box. All right? Very cool. So I want to tell you a quick story. Okay? And you'll see why I brought our guest trainer on tonight. When I first got started making money on the internet, doing business at all, I was 20. I always forget how old I was, to be honest with you. My college life, my life now, and the end of my high school life all blends together because I've been doing the same thing. I've been working and I've been running a business and making money on the internet. And when I got started, the very first time I did anything, I was scared to death. I was scared of failing. I was scared of making a mistake. I was scared of the things that I did not know, of all the things that I didn't know that made me feel inadequate, made me feel like, gosh, I might not be able to do this, or I might fail at this. And we all hate to fail, right? We try to avoid things that we feel like we might fail at. That's just human nature. And so one of the things that I had to do was get my mind right. I had to stop trying to learn how to actually make money on the internet. And I had to start learning how to have the right mindset to really unlock that ability. Does that make sense to everybody? How many of you follow me there? Just say yes. All right, seeing tons of yeses. Great. So fast forward a few years after my very first day, scared to death, I wrote my first book. A lot of you probably have it. It's called The Hidden Millionaire. And The Hidden Millionaire wasn't about how to make money on the internet. In fact, it had absolutely no internet marketing training at all in the entire book. The whole book was literally me kind of reflecting back on my life, how I got from that just petrified moment where honestly I didn't know what I was going to do. I know I was scared of everything, to where I was at that point in my life where I had been successful, I had made millions of dollars, and I wanted to help other people do that, but I knew it started with the right mindset, and that's why I wrote this book. And as I was going through the book and I was reflecting back on the key things that I had to overcome, the key, kind of obstacles and hurdles and things that I didn't know were going to happen when I first got started, one thing stood out to me, and it was the fear. It was the fear of failure. It was having to overcome fear in order to have the success that you want, because it unlocks your ability to do the things that you're learning to do, right? And that's why I wrote that book. And so I started thinking to myself, now we've been doing these webinars, gosh, for, I don't know, since April. So some of you are new this week. If you're new this week, congratulations on being here. I think you'll find a lot of value. You'll love your time that you spend with us every single Thursday night. I dedicate an hour to 2 hours of my time to teaching you, educating you, hopefully inspiring and motivating you, and empowering you to have the success that you obviously want, right? Or you wouldn't be here. And I oftentimes bring on guest trainers. And after last week, what I saw, I realized one thing real fast. I needed to help you guys have the right mindset. I didn't need to teach you another traffic strategy this week. I did not need to teach you another way to write an email this week. I needed to really teach you how to think successfully, how to think like successful people think, how to think like, people that have massive success think. How many of you would agree that that would be a phenomenal thing for you to learn how to do, for you to be able to conquer fear right here tonight? We teach you step by step how you can conquer all this freaking fear that's just holding you back from doing everything we've been teaching you for months and months and months, and unlocking your ability to have success and to believe in yourself. How many of you feel like that would be an amazing time well spent investing in you? Not in your knowledge of how to do certain things on the internet, but in you, in your mindset and your ability to feel like you can be successful. How many of you are excited about learning that here tonight? Very cool. I see a ton of you. Okay, so here's what I did. I had been watching some videos on the internet, actually for many years, and I saw the videos of Marshall Sylver. Have any of you ever heard of Marshall Sylver? Just put yes in the chat box if you've heard of Marshall Sylver. I don't need to see the no's. I just want to see the yeses. It's okay. All right. So I'm seeing a few yeses. For those of you that have not heard of Marshall Sylver, you haven't watched his videos, you don't know what he teaches, you're in for a real treat tonight. For those of you that do, obviously, then you already know you're in for an amazing time tonight. I asked Marshall if he would come on and do a training with me, because as you can see right here on the screen, it says the Millionaire Maker Marshall Sylver. So Marshall has been doing live events, trainings, and all of his live events and his trainings are teaching people just like you and people just like me when I got started, to overcome fear and to believe in themselves and to unlock their own ability to have success. And Marshall even does, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about it, a lot of hypnosis, right? And if you see some of the videos of the live events, I see some of you say you've seen him in Vegas. It's absolutely phenomenal what he is able to accomplish with people that listen, pay attention, and are open-minded. How many of you are willing to listen, pay attention, and be open-minded and see if tonight, between Marshall and myself, we can help you have massive success? Not just online, but in all facets of your life, because you'll believe in yourself. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Awesome. I like to know that what I'm doing is engaging. I like to know that what I'm doing is what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want to learn, what you feel is necessary. And I certainly don't want you to get on here and say, gosh, I don't want to learn that tonight. right? But I know all the steps that I took to be successful. And the only thing I can teach you is what I've done. I can't go teach you what all these other, gurus you see all over the place have done. I can't do that. I can only teach you to walk down the path that I've walked down because I didn't walk down any other paths, right? And this is the path I walked down. I had to get my mind right. I had to believe in myself. I had to feel like I could be successful, and it absolutely unlocked an insane amount of opportunity for me in my life, and I want the same for you as well. So, with all of that said, one of the longest introductions I've probably ever done. However, I hope that it kind of sets the stage for what we're going to learn tonight, what we're going to go through tonight, and I believe, the success that's going to come from our time tonight. So with all of that said, I'd like to introduce you all to Marshall Sylver. Marshall, you there?
Yes, I am. And here's a short video to give the people that don't know about me some more information.
And more than likely, guys, this video you won't be able to hear. Let's see. Yeah. Marshall, I don't think they're going to be able to hear that. Mainly because GoToWebinar. So we can all see some of Marshall's students, but you're not going to be able to hear that on.
Well, you know what? How about I narrate? Is that okay?
There you go. Take off.
Here's some of our students that have gone through our training programs that couldn't succeed even though they had tons of training, had gone through tons of courses, invested in tons of other programs. They just couldn't put it together. And what you're going to learn tonight is what it takes to actually put all of that together and help it be something that protects the investment you've made and everything else, helps you get out of your own way, most importantly, helps you reprogram your mind at its deepest subconscious levels to instantly start taking powerful, positive, productive action in the present moment. Now, I'm not really humble, so I'm going to also go over the video portion where it's talking about me. I am the leading authority on subconscious reprogramming and teaching people how to use the skill of irresistible influence. I've traveled all over the world, hypnotizing people in multiple languages worldwide. I have the world's largest hypnotic production show. I've been on the main stage of Caesars, the Riviera, the Palms, and so many more. I'm the most televised hypnotist of all time. I've had 5 appearances on Late Night with David Letterman, The Late Show, Montel Williams, and more. My books are published in multiple languages worldwide. Over 1 million people have participated in our programs and utilized our content to change the quality of their lives. Thousands of people have come to learn these techniques that I'm going to share with you tonight to help you have the best possible life you can have. Now the video says, and now here he is, the man many call the millionaire maker, Marshall Sylver. How's that for winging it?
That's pretty good. See, you can overcome anything.
Well, you know, that really is lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is deal with what emerges. So many times people will go toward what they want, and they'll hit a hiccup, they'll hit some bumps in the road, and the hiccups or the bumps, they take as feedback of the universe, the world, God even, telling them, you're not supposed to be on this path, you should go back and play it safe, why don't you learn to be happy with what you have? And one of the things that I'm positive about is I know, Anthony, you have had many setbacks, you've had many heartbreaks. I guarantee you, Anthony and myself, we've lost more money than many people on this call will ever make in a lifetime. If you talk to one of my mentors, Sir Richard Branson, that I'll talk about in a moment, or you talk to even Donald Trump or Mark Cuban or any of these massively successful people, you'll discover something that might be shocking to you. And the thing that you'll discover is they've made mistakes. They've launched businesses that didn't work. They've done things that turned out way bad. The biggest distinction between them, myself, Anthony, and people that don't succeed is we don't take it personally. We don't think it's a personal failure when we fail. We realize that whatever it is that we want, for some reason, we didn't have everything in the proper order to succeed. So tonight is going to be a very different call, a very different webinar for you, in that it's not a webinar that is designed to teach you a strategy. In fact, what this webinar is about. It's about helping you protect the investment you've made in every other training program, the investment you've made in every other seminar or book or tape or program. On tonight's webinar, on this conversation, I'm going to show you how to instantly change the programs of your mind so you think what a millionaire thinks, so you'll start doing what a millionaire does, so that you'll start producing a similar result. Now, I'm about to jump on my jet and fly off to Miami to do a 2-day training program this weekend. And I know that I'm here 100%. I want to know, are you here 100%? If you are here and you're totally committed during the next 60 minutes to learning as much as you can, to get out of your own way, to learn some skills of irresistible influence, how you can sell anyone, anything at any time. If you want that, I want you to type the word yes into the chat stream. Just say yes. There you go. Lots of yeses and lots of people saying, oh yeah, that's me. Good stuff, you guys. Way to go, Sherry. I'm glad that you are so excited to be here because I'm so excited to have you here. I want you to take a pad of paper and a pen, and I want you to write rather than type notes on a computer. A lot of times people take notes on the computer, and because I'm a hypnotist, I know how our subconscious mind works. And your subconscious mind will retain more information if you physically write it down on a piece of paper and then later transfer the notes over to your computer. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down these words. It's the name of our conversation. I want you to write down these words: take action now. When? Type it into the chat now, because tomorrow never comes. I've got a question for you. How many of you listening right now to me speak are older than you thought you would be at this point of your life? If you know what I'm talking about, type an oh yeah into the chat. How many of you listening right now thought that you would be in a very different place than you are right now? You thought you'd be further ahead financially. Maybe you thought you'd be better off in your relationships. Maybe you thought you'd be fitter and healthier in all those ways. I know that most people aren't where they want to be. And in tonight's presentation, in this program, in this lesson, I'm going to help you realize it's not your fault. Not at all, actually. In fact, it's so far from being your fault, you're going to feel relieved by the time we're done. You're going to be grateful, and you're going to say, thank you, Marshall. You just lifted that burden off my shoulders. Except before we get started, I have a few questions, and I want you to type your answer into the chat because I want to be sure that I'm teaching you what you want to learn. I can teach you anything at all, and I'm willing to teach you whatever the majority of the people want to learn. So I want you to type into the chat a response. Yes, if it's for yes. Don't bother answering. If it's no, I'll count the yeses, and I'll proceed accordingly. So the first question is, how many of you on this webinar tonight want to learn how to make more money? I see tons of yeses popping up. Of course you do. That's one of the major reasons you're here. Except I have another question for you. Money isn't everything. And if you had all the money in the world, yet everybody despised you, and you didn't have any fulfilling, intimate, personal relationships, no great friends, then that wouldn't be fun too. So the question I have, how many of you would love to have awesome, passionate, personal relationships? Beautiful. How many of you would like to have more passion in your current personal relationship? I see a lot of yeses. If you're sitting beside somebody else and they typed yes into the chat line and you didn't type yes in, you should be paying attention. Here's a big question. I know I've met the love of my life at a seminar, at a learning experience, at one of my seminars, and it's a really great place to meet someone that you love because you're meeting like-minded, positive, forward-thinking people. So if you are single and you would love to learn how to create an awesome, passionate relationship, I want you to type yes, or oh yes, right into that chat line so I know that you want a little bit of the relationship stuff tonight too. Here's a big one. How many of you would like to start losing fat right now and getting there? Type yes. Get those fat little fingers moving. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to tell you I have a right to say it what it is because I'm in the middle of the process right now myself. And then finally, I got a big question for you. Who here tonight, so the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are here tonight, who here tonight thinks I may try to sell you something? Type yes or oh yes into the chat. Beautiful. Make no mistake about it. I will not let you down. I want you to know that I'm going to give you as much as I possibly can during our time together. And toward the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you an opportunity to take your life to the next level. I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to begin a lifetime relationship with me at zero risk to you. In fact, I'm going to take massive care of you because you are a student of Anthony's. And by the time we are done, I promise you, this night is going to be a turning point for you. This night is going to be a night you will look back on and you will say, everything changed. My life got infinitely easier. My life got infinitely richer and infinitely more enjoyable. I promise you. Right now, I'm broadcasting to you from a beautiful home on the coast in Southern California. So you know a little bit about me. I was born and raised on a farm in Michigan, one of 10 kids. The farmhouse that I was born into had no running water, had no electricity, had no phone. Often we had little, sometimes no food. Twice my family was homeless. My beautiful, amazing mother raised her 10 children almost exclusively on her own. She worked 3 jobs to provide for us. And it was a tough life, I won't kid you. A cold Michigan winter condemned the house that we were living in, and myself and my 9 siblings were forced to live in a car. The local community saw that we were living 10 kids and a mom in a station wagon, and they came together and they converted an old chicken coop. The chicken coop had running water, it had electricity, so to a 7-year-old kid, it was an amazing place. Other than clucking sometimes when I get happy, absolutely no adverse side effects. Living in the chicken coop house was nice. It was a move up. I didn't realize that it still wasn't how most people lived, and I really had no point of reference. I want to give you a point of reference. Based on what you're about to learn tonight, based on the information I'm going to give to you, based on, dare I say it, information that to most people is secret. They don't even realize it exists. These days, my life is very different. These days, my main residence is a 17,000 square foot home in Las Vegas. We call the place Prosperity Palace. Oftentimes, people will walk into the foyer of Prosperity Palace, and the first words out of their mouth is, I think I may have stayed at this hotel before. Oftentimes, I'll watch MTV Cribs, and I'll feel really bad for those guys. Now, I told you that it gets very, very hot in Vegas, and I also kind of hinted at I'm not in Vegas at the moment. When it gets hot in Vegas, we head out to our home on the ocean in Southern California. My home in Southern California is right beside a state park, right on the water, right on the ocean. The state park is 2 miles long, so for 2 miles to the side of me, nobody can build. I've got unobstructed ocean views for miles and miles. The question I have for you is, if this was the view out your back window every single evening, would you be motivated to work a little bit harder? I'm not getting ahead of myself. I want to inspire you a bit, and I want to let you know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not somebody that's just going to come and espouse some theory. I'm not somebody that's going to pretend like I know what I'm doing and hasn't practiced it. And I also want to help you understand something. I want you to select your mentors carefully. I know you selected Anthony because he's more than demonstrated his expertise, his knowledge, his networks, his relationships. I want you to realize that you need to select mentors that are living a lifestyle that started off worse than where you are now and are better than you ever imagined you could live, yet you would want it. I made a movie a few years ago. The movie is called Tranced. It's a movie that while you watch it, it actually hypnotizes you to experience what the lead character on the screen is experiencing. And by the way, anybody that might be afraid of hypnosis or afraid of trance, please stay on the call. I will remove all those fears. I'll dispel all the rumors. I'll get rid of all the things that aren't real and all the negativity. And by the time I'm done, you'll realize most people spend the majority of their lives in hypnosis. It's not hard to put them in trance. It's hard to bring them out of the one they're already in. So years ago, I made a movie. It's called Trance, and it's a movie about a young, unwed mother and her search for meaning in her life. And while you watch the movie, it hypnotizes you to actually experience what the lead character in the screen is experiencing. So when she feels hot, you feel hot. When she feels cold, you feel cold and cuddle up against your date. And the movie was so powerful that when we released it, movie theaters were afraid to show it because the owners would come into the theater and they'd see half the audience going into trance and the other half freaking out. And so they were afraid to show the movie, so we're about to release it independently. At any rate, when I was creating the film, the hero of the film is a philanthropist billionaire named Sterling Wins. And when I was creating the character of Sterling, I thought, where would he live? And I found this beautiful 25,000 square foot palace that was originally built for the Sultan of Brunei in the Hollywood Hills. And I said, yeah, that's where he lived. And so we filmed his home there. I said, what kind of a car would he drive or be driven in? And when I thought about it, I thought, you know what, I like cars. And I mentor, consult for, and train a lot of millionaires and even billionaires. And when I was thinking about what kind of a car Sterling would drive, I knew he would drive himself. I knew the character would be big. And so it wasn't a Mercedes. I love Mercedes. That's what I drive. It wasn't a Mercedes. It was a big car that made a big statement. And when I saw the car, I knew it. It's the car you're looking at, the brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom. 19 feet long, weighs 3 tons, $400,000. Now, I don't know about you. My own belief is any guy that needs a $400,000 automobile to get from point A to point B, he's making up for a shortcoming elsewhere. That's what I say. So you'd never catch me driving a $400,000 automobile. In order to make the film, though, I had to rent the car for 10 days. The first day I'm driving in the car, I think, what a tank. Man, I can't wait to get back in my Mercedes. Second day I'm driving in the car, it starts to feel a little bit better. Third day I'm driving in the car, I pull up to a stoplight, and beside me is a car filled with very beautiful women. And as I pull up to the stoplight, I can tell they're attempting to get my attention. They're beeping on their horns, and they're waving, and the woman in the back seat's motioning for me to roll my window down. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I bet they think the car looks pretty good too. Yeah, I bet they do. I roll down my window. The woman in the back seat says, excuse me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? If you're having a chuckle right now, you're at least 40 years old. Next day, I went out and bought the very car you're looking at, a brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom. Now, if you're still thinking to yourself, nobody needs a $400,000 automobile, I will tell you this, then you've never ridden in a $400,000 automobile. Because the moment you ride in it, I promise you, you will change your mind. A lot of times people won't create wealth, and the reason that they don't create wealth is they lie to themselves. They say, oh, I would never want that kind of money. Oh, I would never want a car like that. How many children could be fed with the money you spent on that car? And the fact is, a lot of kids have been fed by me buying that car. And that's one of the mindsets that I'm going to shift for you tonight, that it's okay to be wealthy, and it's okay to generate revenue. It's okay to sell things. It's good for you. It's good for the other people. It's good for the whole economy. In fact, it's really good for everybody. You're going to find some of the core programs that are stopping you from getting what you want are the core programs that you thought were actually serving you, and they don't. So at this point, I want to ask you that question. Do you believe it's possible that you have programs in your mind that work against you, that you think are working for you, and yet work against you? And do you think you might even have programs in your mind that are working against that you don't even know exist? If you answered yes to either one of those questions, I want you to type yes in the chat, because that's what I'd like to talk about, because I believe that is the thing that I can teach you tonight that will serve you best. And I believe it is the thing that when you learn it, you'll start kicking yourself. You'll start saying, oh my gosh, it wasn't about that gadget or that software or this program. Most of them could have worked for me. The challenge was I wasn't working for me. I believed rich people were evil. I was afraid of selling things. I thought that it was a rotten thing, and because I got resistance from people, I didn't want them to reject me, or I thought I was too old, or I wasn't technical enough, or I'd never learned the internet marketing stuff, or speaking, or multi-level marketing, or flipping real estate. When you start recognizing that all of that is hypnosis, all of that is psychobabble, brain boogie, shatter, when you start recognizing that, you will be that much closer to unlocking the massive amount of wealth that is not just available to you, that is rightfully yours, that you deserve, that you need to step into so to help the entire economy. I want you to write this down. It's a question, and I want you to write it down on your pad of paper, first person. The question is, what is the highest and best use of my time? What is the highest and best use of my time? Abraham Lincoln said, if you have an hour to chop down a tree, spend 40 minutes sharpening that axe. Now, you can chop down a tree with a dull axe. You can. You can pick up that axe and you can whack that dull axe up against that tree, and you'll make progress. And maybe even by the end of the hour, you'll chop that tree down. But here's the challenge. You'll chop the tree down, except you'll run out of time. There'll be no time left to chop down another tree. You'll get minimal amount of result, and your hands will be blistered and bloodied. I don't know about you. I know something about you. I'm positive about something about you. You're not afraid of hard work. It's nighttime. You've probably worked all day long, yet you took the time to get on this webinar because you said, I want a better life. You could be watching reruns of The Simpsons. You could be wasting your time. You could be getting drunk. You chose to be here. You chose to take the chance that maybe this is the missing piece. Maybe tonight can be the turning point for you. Maybe you will now make that breakthrough. And I'm so glad you're here, so I know you're willing to work hard. Except here's the thing. Same axe, same trees, except you spend 40 minutes sharpening the axe. You sharpen the axe, and the guy that's over there whacking at the tree, doing his labor, it looks like he's getting ahead because you're not making any progress. You're just sitting there sharpening the axe. Except at minute 40, you stand up to the tree with that very sharp axe, and you take one swing, and that tree falls with one swing. Tree's down, you've got energy, you've got time, you swing again, another tree, and another tree, and another tree, and another tree. You're the axe. I'm the sharpening wheel. I came here to make your life easier, not worse. Am I going to offer up something for sale? Yes, I'm going to offer up a way for you to begin a lifetime relationship with me. I'm going to not only give you a massive value, I will tell you we have not done for years and years and years, and this is the only place I will do it, and I have some selfish reasons for doing it that I'll explain throughout the course. Plus, I will give you a better than risk-free offer. There'll be zero risk on your part. And more than that, at the end of it all, I promise you that this will be the beginning of a lifetime relationship for the majority of you that are listening right now. I promise you. I've done this enough time. I've been on stage for 46 years now. I have not only been on stage for 46 years, I have also been a teacher, an instructor, a guide, a reprogrammer for the past 30 years. What is the highest and best use of your time? In the United States, there are some 500 commercial airports, 500 places that you can go to, get on the jet, fly wherever you like to. My home in Southern California is in a little town called Carlsbad. And if I get in my car, I have to drive either to San Diego or to Orange County. It's about 90 minutes with moderate traffic, and I've got to account for the traffic. When I get to the airport, I've got to park my car in long-term parking, so I'm usually gone for a few days at a time, which is another 30 minutes there, get on the shuttle, get to the airport. Now I'm at 2 hours. It's about 90 minutes. I got to get to the airport 90 minutes prior. You know this. If you're going to go through TSA, you got to get there 90 minutes early just to be sure you don't miss your flight. You get on the flight. You're surrounded by people that are making noise, bonking you in the head. The air is bad. The food is non-existent. They charge you $5 for a pillow that wasn't washed. It was just put in a plastic bag. Let that be a warning. And then you get off the plane. You got to wait a minimum of 30 minutes to get your bag. 4 hours one way. 8 hours round trip. And that's got nothing to do with what you came for. It's enough to make a man want to shave his head. I bought my home in Carlsbad for 2 reasons. My mother, that I loved so much, the most important one at the time in my life, lived in the city right beside my home. The second reason I bought this home in Carlsbad is it is 7 minutes away from a private airport. In the U.S., there are 5,000 private jet airports, 5,000 places that private jets come and go. Palomar Airport, 7 minutes from my front door. I get in the car. I drive to the airport. I don't park the car. I pull it right up to the jet. I don't touch my bags. The private pilot and the bag handlers touch my bags. Within 10 minutes of leaving my front door, I'm on the jet. Within 15 minutes, my feet are on the couch across from me, favorite beverage in hand. I never miss a flight because they always wait for me. Do you think you might be able to get used to that experience? This is the look of a man who maybe a dozen times in the last 8 years has flown a commercial flight. This is the look of a man whose feet were up, his tray table was down on takeoff and freaking landing. I want to show you this because I said this before. It is important that you select your mentors carefully. It is important that you choose your mentors carefully. I want to change your life. I want to give you everything that you want. I know not everybody wants this kind of a lifestyle. I understand that. If you don't want this kind of a lifestyle, I'll drive you nuts because I believe it serves the planet. I just believe most people haven't figured out how to do it, and I do believe it is within their grasp. I'm here tonight for 2 reasons, and I'll tell you the first reason. And there's a third reason on this particular night. The first reason I'm here is I am here to win a Nobel Prize. I have young children. I've got a 4-year-old son. I've got a 2-year-old son. I have a 7-month-old daughter. And I am frightened about where the world is these days. I am terrified that we have become a nation here in the U.S. especially. It's worldwide too, though, except especially our nation, a nation of entitlement, a nation where some people think that they are allowed to take from the ones that are willing to work hard because somehow those people work their butts off and do something that somehow they owe it to everybody else because they got lucky and they don't realize luck showed up in overalls and those people put the overalls on and did the work. I want a world where my kids understand they're responsible for their own lives. Nobody owes them a hand or a hand up, and that they owe the same to other people. That's what I want. And if everybody got responsible at the same time, guess what would happen? Everything would work fine. If everyone got responsible at the same time, it's kind of like being on the freeway in a traffic jam where all the cars are stopped, and the only reason they're going so slow, it's not because of all the cars, it's because of 1 or 2 cars. And if there was a bullhorn beside the freeway, and a loud voice came on and said, all right, everybody trust me. On the count of 3, everyone floor it. 1, 2, 3. And if everyone had faith and everyone floored it, guess what? Everything would work out fine. What we've got going on right now in this economy is we have not run out of money. There is not less money in the economy than there was when the economy was flourishing. And most people don't understand that concept. There is 5 times the money in the economy right now than back in 2008 when people thought the economy was flourishing. Here's what's not happening. What's not happening is people are not spending that money. The guy that buys, that wants to buy a new car didn't sell a house because he's a realtor, so he doesn't buy the car. The guy that sells cars doesn't get a commission, so he doesn't buy clothes. The guy that sells clothes doesn't sell clothes, doesn't get a commission, so he doesn't buy a house. It's a vicious circle. So let me put this in a different term. Maybe this will help you understand it. How many of you have ever played the game of Monopoly? If you've ever played the game of Monopoly, type the word yes into the chat. And I have a prediction here. Just type the word yes into the chat. While you're doing that, here's my prediction. We're going to see a lot of yeses. And here's why we're going to see a lot of yeses. Because most entrepreneurs have played Monopoly. And most successful entrepreneurs always win at Monopoly. So here's my next question for you. What is the one absolute strategy? You must use this strategy. If you don't use this strategy, you'll lose. And if you do use this strategy, you have a high likeliness of winning. What is the strategy? Buy everything. Buy everything you land on. Buy everything. Halfway through the game, you will run out of money. It doesn't matter. Mortgage property for 50% value, even though you'll have at 15% interest, buy every land on. Now, I know you know that's how you win at Monopoly. And if you know that, the question I have is, how come most people don't understand it's that way in the rest of the world? That if you want to make money, you have to spend money. And I'm not telling you that to get you to buy with me. In fact, the offer that I've got, I'm going to offer up a program called Turning Point. It is a $3,000 per person investment. We have had hundreds of thousands of people come through, all having invested thousands of dollars. By a special arrangement with Anthony, it's ridiculous what he's offering it up to you tonight for. In fact, I told him not to, and he said he insisted that I offer it up to you at this ridiculous amount. 3 figures. I mean, 3 little figures, and not high 3 figures either. 3 little figures. And the reason that I know that you've got to invest in yourself is part of your challenge. Part of what's going on for you right now in every area is you're, as Anthony said at the beginning of this conversation, operating out of fear. And whether you know it or not, it shows up in a lot of different ways. Sometimes fear looks like procrastination. Sometimes fear looks like being catatonic. You know what you need to do. You just can't get yourself to do it. Sometimes fear looks like being complacent. You know, Marshall, I'm making $70,000 a year. It's a lot more than some of my friends. I should just learn to be happy. And to you, I say, whoa, look at that couch. Look at that couch. It's on a freaking jet. I want you to know that I'm not special. I didn't show you the jet. I didn't show you the rolls. I didn't show you my palace or my beach house to impress you with me. I'm plenty impressed with myself already. Be very sure of that. Here's why I showed it to you. I'm an ordinary guy. I'm not special, although I was in special education classes as a kid. I was. They thought I was mentally handicapped. These days, they would have labeled me ADD or ADDDDD. They thought I was mentally handicapped. They thought I had challenges, and it wasn't that I had challenges. I think much like you, my challenge was I learned too quick. And because I learned things so fast, I got bored easily. Because I got bored easily, I moved on. Because I moved on and the other kids were still trying to learn, the teacher thought that I hadn't learned what I already had, and I was just bored. If you can relate, type yes into the comment line. So at any rate, I'm not smarter than you. In fact, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school because my beautiful, sweet, amazing mother was working 3 jobs to provide for her 10 children, and I knew it was killing her. So I dropped out of high school so that I could help provide for my mother. I am not more hardworking than you. I promise you. Every single one of you, without an exception, every single one of you that are on this webinar right now, you work harder than me. And how I know this is I am blessed, thank you God, that I don't do anything anymore that I don't absolutely want to do. I don't do anything that I don't love. I don't do anything because I have to do it for money. I only do what I do these days because I love it, because I believe that I can win a Nobel Prize by turning the economy around, and that we can turn the economy around together by having this conversation, by me, number one, helping you reprogram your brain. I'm going to give you the means to get rid of all the old programs, all the crap, all the garbage, all the stuff that's working against you that you know and stuff you don't know. I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. I'm going to teach you how to program your brain with the thoughts of a multi-millionaire so that you will do what a multi-millionaire does without effort. You won't even think about it. You will simply view right through the matrix how the world really works, and you'll start taking new actions. And even though they'll seem counterintuitive, you'll say, it couldn't possibly work. It works. Again, there's the proof. I'm not more creative than anybody on this webinar. I'm not better looking. Let's not go that far. I'm not a harder worker, that's for sure. I'm certainly not the most humble guy, and I'll tell you why. That's one of those things. You see, many people were programmed as children to be humble. They were programmed not to show off in front of the other kids. Don't try to pretend you're better than they are. Well, guess what? That's malarkey. That's bunk. That doesn't work. In fact, it's bad programming. Can you imagine if Tiger Woods' father had told him, Tiger, don't show off in front of the other golfers. Don't try to pretend you're better than they are. He never would have been the golfer that he is, or was anyway. And in fact, if hypnosis is to be believed anywhere, it's got to be believed there. The Tiger was the greatest golfer this planet has ever seen, and when he got messed up in his head, his game went to pieces, and he hasn't been able to recover it since. So here's the thing I have for you, and here's what I want to give you. I want you to write this down. Communication equals wealth. Communication equals wealth. You communicate in 2 ways, only. You communicate internally via the 1,500 words per minute that are whizzing through your brain, telling you who you are and who you aren't, what you can be, what you can do, what you can have. 1,500 words per minute that were built up from the time you were a child, from the time that you were an infant, before you even knew what those words were. They were poured into your brain. The majority of your identity, the majority of what you believe to be true, the majority of the truths that you operate on today are based on the programs you received by the time you were 8 years old. Let me ask you a question. If you took a kid, a child, a baby, from the time they were born until they were 8 years old, and you said to that child, you dirty, rotten, good-for-nothing, you will never amount to anything. You are a mistake. We wish we'd never had you. You're going to be a criminal. You're going to be a drug addict. You're going to be a prisoner. Nobody's life is better because you're here. We wish you had never been born. Can you feel it? I'm talking to you on a webinar. There's no kid here. That wasn't 8 years. That was 10 seconds. And did you feel the energy shift instantly? I know you did. I know there are people, and it breaks my heart, that are on this webinar right now. There are people that had worse than that growing up, had worse than the verbal abuse, had physical abuse, had emotional abuse, all kinds of abuse, sexual abuse. I know there's at least one. It's me. My father was an angry, mean alcoholic. And every time I would call my father on the phone, the first words he would say is, you little SOB, why are you calling me? The last words he would say is, you little MFer, don't ever call me again. And he didn't use acronyms. It took me a long time. It took me this work. And I'm going to help you heal this, because healing this kind of garbage, this kind of emotional baggage, is a part of the process of truly becoming prosperous. You know, you can't create wealth if your self-esteem is so low you don't think you deserve wealth. Every time you start to make wealth or you start to do something right, you'll throw a wrench in your own gears. So one of the things that I do at this 2-day training program called Turning Point, that we have both online that you can take anywhere in the world, and that we also offer up at live events that I've been doing for 30 years, one of the things that we do is we help you identify what programs are hurting you. What things do you hold to be true that are not true? What programs got planted in there? And you'd be shocked at what stuff gets in there. I realized that when my father treated me that way, now I realize it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with him. And if you have that pain, or you love somebody that you know has old pain, I want you to write this down to tell to them, or write it down to serve you, to heal your heart. Write this down. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Next time somebody is being mean or nasty or offensive or is not being reasonable, I want you to look them in the eyes, and I want you to just think to yourself, I wonder who hurt this person. I wonder who was so mean to this person they feel the need to be so nasty now. It'll heal a lot of things. When I realized that that had nothing to do with me, it helped me. Now, that said, I wanted to love my father. I wanted him to love me back. I didn't know how to change him. My mother loved me very much. My mother was this amazing human being that would tell me, Marshall, as you grow up, you can do anything. You're going to be rich, you're going to be famous, you're going to change people's lives, and then you're going to take care of me. Which, by the way, of all the things in my life that I'm proud of, the one thing besides my children that I'm most proud of is that when my mother got her first retirement check at 65 years old, and she saw that check and she cried, from that moment forward, every single month, I took complete and total financial care of my mother. I gave her over $1 million over the course of the 20 years that I provided for her, and I'm very proud that I took care of her. I want you to know that making money is a gift, and I want to help you have that gift, and I want you to create that gift, because once you have the gift, here's the wonderful thing. It is like riding a bike. You'll never lose the gift. You will always know how to do it. If you took all the money on the planet today and you divided it evenly amongst all the people, which is what some people want to do, if you did that, it wouldn't do anything different. It wouldn't change anything. Because the people that know how to make money, you'd keep making money. And the people that squandered it, they'd keep squandering it. And so part of the challenge of helping you become a different person, it's not enough for you to learn something. I need to literally program you to be a different person, so you take different actions, so you view the world differently. At Turning Point, I teach a process called PND. Write it down. PND, psychoneuroduplication. I show you that it's very simple to identify what somebody thinks, program that into your own mind so that you'll do what they do. So in other words, if you think what a millionaire thinks, you'll do what a millionaire does, and you'll produce wealth. If you think what a non-smoker thinks, you won't have to force yourself not to smoke. You just won't have the desire. When you think what a slender, fit person thinks, you'll look at food that you know isn't good for you, and it just won't appeal to you. You'll think what a fit person thinks, and the first thought when you wake up in the morning is, I sure would love to get some exercise in. And we'll get back to more of that in a moment. But here's the question. I know my mother loved me, except she hurt me worse than my father. You know how? My mother gave me a program that she thought was a good program. And this is one of those things that will trick you up. It will mess with you. You'll think you're doing it right. In fact, I promise you, 90% of you are doing this right now. 90% of you are doing this. You think you're doing the right thing, and it's wrong. And here's what my mother said to me. She said, Marshall, work hard, get ahead. Who on this webinar realizes if you work hard, what you get is more hard work? If you do a full day's worth of labor in a half a day, your boss is going to give you another full day's worth of labor for the second half of the day. My desire is to make you so smart. My desire is to make you so aware of how millionaires and even billionaires think. My desire is that I would have you realize there's a way for you to win that's different than how you're doing it, and it works. I want you to write this down as well. Those that think govern those that labor. You're doing the right thing. You're on this webinar. You want to get smarter in the areas you know you're not so smart about. I get it. I was there. I was there some 30 years ago. I'd gone to every seminar I could go to. I bought every book in tape. And I kept kicking myself, going, why can't you get it? Why do they get it? I mean, tell me, do you see people that you know are not nearly as smart as you, are not nearly as hardworking as you, are not nearly as committed as you, and they're making money, and everything seems to be easy for them? If you know those kinds of people, or you've seen them, and you've wondered, what the heck? I want you to write yes, or oh yes, or holy yes in the chat. I want you to make a note and just yes, because that is the deal. So here's the thing, though. There are people that have less smarts than you, have less ability than you, and have succeeded at higher levels than you. Rather than resent them, here's what you need to do. Go ask them, how'd you do this? I sought out mentors, and I needed to find, and this is the second criteria for a mentor. First is find somebody that started off worse than you are, because then you won't have any excuses. You can't say, yeah, their father helped them. I have shared the stage on numerous occasions with Donald Trump. Well, I'm glad he's telling the truth, and I'm glad he's shaking things up. I have nothing to learn from Donald Trump as far as business is concerned. My father didn't give me $200 million to get my career started. If your father had given you $200 million to get your career started, do you think you too could have turned it into $1 billion? I had to find a mentor that started off worse than I started and had produced a result way better than I had produced. And when I was thinking about who that mentor would be, there was no doubt in my mind. You're looking at a screen, you're looking at an image of Sir Richard Branson and me and my beautiful bride, Erica, which, by the way, if any of you ever doubted the power of hypnosis, once again, here's a picture of my beautiful bride, Erica. Sir Richard Branson's the guy on the right, by the way, if you're confused. When I started reading about Sir Richard Branson, the first thing I knew and I read was that he was a high school dropout. In fact, he wasn't a high school dropout. They asked him to leave. I said, okay, I have something in common there. He had taken a business and a brand, and he had built it up into a multi-billion-dollar brand. I said, that's the kind of a guy I want to learn. So I made it my point to study with someone that not only I thought I would like, somebody that also had produced an amazing result and it started worse than I did. I put it out into the universe, which is a very powerful process. The first thing to get what you want is you need to be willing to, brave enough to say, I want that. Even now, I would love it if some of you would type into the chat, I want to be with you, Marshall. I want to learn from you. I want to study with you. I want to attend your program. Put that out there because the how is always the easiest part. The what is always the toughest part. Once you have determined what you want and you have stated it, even if your inner subconscious mind says there's no way it can happen, you got to state it anyway. Because what happens is your subconscious mind is a perfect computer. And it has knowledge that you don't even realize on a conscious level it possesses. It has ability you have not yet tapped that I want to show you how to tap, and yet it starts with intention. Read it in Think and Grow Rich. It's a definition of purpose. So when you have that definition of purpose, I said, I want to meet Sir Richard Branson. In fact, I want to hypnotize him to invite me to his private island, Necker Island. So I get a call one day from my buddy, and he says, hey, you've been talking about it for a while, that you want to meet Sir Richard. They're doing a charity dinner in San Francisco, $5,000 a plate, going to be 10 guys there. Would you like to join us? I said, absolutely, except I have a better plan. Why don't you invest $25,000, I'll invest $25,000, we'll take them out to a private dinner. All the money goes to charity anyways, what difference does it make? My buddy said, I'll be right back to you. He goes, calls me back 2 days later, says, I have bad news and I have good news. I said, what's the bad news? He says, the bad news is it's not 10 guys. The bad news is it's now 25. I said, okay, what's the good news? He says, the good news is you still can, donate 25,000. I said, what's everybody else donating? He said, everybody else is giving 5K. Now, people that think from what I call a pauper consciousness, not a millionaire's consciousness, not a prosperity consciousness, would have said, oh, no, I'm not paying more than other people. I didn't. I said, okay, I'll donate $25,000 to his charity for two reasons. Guess what's going to happen? Number one, only one guy at that table donated $25,000. Everybody else donated 5K. Who do you think he's going to notice? Number two, I said, I want the seat directly beside him. Now, I don't know about you. If you've ever sat at a table with a lot of people, you only talk to the people you're seated right beside. I felt bad for the people that had paid $5,000 on the other end of the table. They didn't talk to him at all. During the course of the evening, I hypnotized him, and I'm going to teach you some of how you do that. I'm going to talk about influence in a second, because part of your not getting what you want has to do with your inability to influence others, your inability to persuade, your inability to sell, and I'm going to help you do that in a moment. I hypnotized him to invite me to his island. He said, oh my gosh, you are such an interesting guy. You should come down to my island. I said, would it be possible to bring my girlfriend at the time? He said, oh yeah, you can bring your girlfriend. I said, could I bring my mother? It was my mother's 80th birthday coming up, and I wanted to take my mother to Necker Island for her 80th birthday. He said, you know what? You can bring 28 of your favorite friends and family all down to the island. Spend the whole week there. The investment for the island is $350,000. Here's my secretary's cell phone number. Be careful what you ask for. This is the reason intention is so important. I had intended to just get the invite. I hadn't made the intention that I would get it for free. I want you to write this down. Deal with what emerges. No matter what comes up, deal with it. You really don't have a choice anyway. Deal with it. And so Sir Richard Branson said it was $350,000. I knew I didn't want my mother to fly on a commercial flight. I wanted her to fly privately. The private jet was a $150,000 charter. I had also promised my mother previously for her 80th birthday that I was going to fly in all of my brothers and sisters, all of her kids. that I was going to fly in all of her grandkids, all of her great-grandkids, and also she had great-great-grandkids, and also my mother's siblings. In total, about another $100,000 to put that whole thing together. $600,000 birthday gift for my mother's 80th birthday. Here's the question I have for you, and this is big, and I want you to experience this, and I want you to sense this, and I want you to feel this. Is there someone in your life that you love so much, that just one time? Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's your parents. Is there somebody that you love so much that becoming massively wealthy is so important that you would want to give them a $600,000 gift and not have it harm you in any way? Not have it, put you in the poorhouse, not have it destroy your life. If you would like to learn how to do that, and you want that, and you have someone that you care about, I want you to type their name and their relationship into the chat, and I want you to tell everybody else who it is that you love and who you'd like to give that level of a gift to. Just take a moment. I'll take a sip of water. You do that now, because I'm going to teach you how to do it. Oh, that's beautiful. I love people that love their parents. I love people that love their wives. I think that's an amazing thing. Woman is God's gift to man. Here's the other question I have for you, though. How many of you would like to be in a position to be able to give that magnitude of a gift to someone you care about, yet be smart enough in the ways of money that it didn't cost you $600,000, that it actually netted you $500,000 in profit? If you want that, type in the chat line, yes, I do. Type it now. You see, that's the thing. It's not an either-or world, it's an and world. And part of what you need to understand is that millionaires and billionaires, we think differently than people that aren't making $1 million per net joyfully. We view the world differently. Number one, I want you to write this down. Avoid MWAs. Avoid MWAs. What's an MWA? A minimum wage activity. Avoid minimum wage activities. Do you take out your own trash? Do you cook your own meals because you have to, not because you want to? Do you mow your own lawn? Do you make your own bed, which I've never understood, by the way? Do you pick up around your own house? Those are minimum wage activities. When you sign up for the Turning Point course, either online or you attend in person, which is always better because when you attend in person, I'm able to actually reprogram your mind live on the spot, and we do it because this is the beginning of a lifetime relationship. I'm going to give you the opportunity to come back again and again and again all over the country, all over the world for that matter, and let me do that for you over the course of a lifetime. If you do those actions, you're doing minimum wage activities, and you won't have enough time to be a millionaire. You won't have any energy to do it. If you own cable television and you come home at night, or you own satellite television, and for 2 hours you just push through the channels looking for something to slow your brain down because you've worked so hard, you can't afford cable television. You can't afford satellite TV. I'm not talking about the $30 a month. I'm talking about the 2 hours a night that you need to be on a call like this, that you need to be on a webinar, that you need to be filling your brain up with new information that makes you look at a guy like me and say, who do you think you are, little rich hypno boy? There's a point where I got so frustrated with watching other people live lives of fantastic wealth that I said, you know what, it's not about them, it's about me. I need to have the ability, the humility, the willingness to say, you know what, the world's not going to change. I've got to change. And that's absolutely right. So here's the question I have for you. Do you want to learn how to change quickly? And if I could give you a little 3-step formula to changing quickly, would you want me to give it to you? Because that's what I want to give to you. Perfect. Awesome. Here's the formula. It's the 3 things you need to get anything you want. 3 things you need to get anything you want. Whether it's making $1 million plus a year, whether it is creating an awesome, passionate relationship where you never fight because you designed it differently, whether it is a wanting to create emotional, spiritual well-being, whatever it is, here's the 3 things. First, self-mastery. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is the ability to 100% control all of your thoughts and emotions. There's no such thing as a bad economy. There is something such as your economy, and it's neither good nor bad. If it's what you don't want, some people call it bad. If it's what you do want, you call it good. But the economy, the world economy, doesn't have to be your economy. In fact, More wealth is made during times when most people are struggling than when everybody thinks things are great. And I'll explain that in a moment. So the first thing I want you to do is I want to help you control your mind. I want you to understand that when you participate in Turning Point, either online or you decide, which I would love, to come be with me at one of our live events, and we've got 3 more before the end of this year, let alone the 15 that we'll do next year, and then on and on and on. I want you to understand that what you believe to be true is true for you, nothing else. First and foremost, I want you to believe that tonight is that turning point, that tonight is the missing piece, that, you know, all the software programs that work so well, they really do, but all the learnings that you've had about real estate, about stock, about internet marketing, all of those ways, any of those ways could have already worked for you. If it worked for one other person, it could have worked for you. So the question is, if there's a million ways to become a millionaire, and it's possible for you, and you're not yet a millionaire, you have to acknowledge it's you. So again, I know it's painful. I know it hurts. It hurt me some 30 years ago when I had to just say, you know what, it's me. I'm the thing that's messed up. I'm the common denominator in these failures. Second thing I want you to write down, what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. So many people focus on what's wrong and they get more of what's wrong. I love my wife. I love my beautiful bride. I met her 8 years ago. She was at a Turning Point, actually. 1,000 people in the room in Boston. I walked up the aisle, and there was this beautiful, beautiful girl. And I didn't know what it was. I really believe in divine direction. I believe in God. And I believed that I was being directed because I couldn't take my eyes off this person. And she's strikingly beautiful for sure, but there's a lot of beautiful people in the world, a lot of beautiful women. There was something else, though, and I knew that I needed to get to know her. So I hypnotized her during the first part of this seminar to ask me on a date, and she asks me on a date. And we found out while we were chatting that in a hotel with 1,000 rooms, that we were staying in the rooms directly across the hall from each other. I hadn't seen her because we were coming and going at different times, but that's God. And so there were too many coincidences that came up, and I realized that we find what we're looking for. I had asked God for something different. I said, God, find me someone kind. Now, rather than someone that's beautiful and talented and makes money, I only wanted one criteria. Find me someone kind, because I was tired of all the nonsense, and I was tired of all the drama. I said, I won't do drama anymore. And when you meet Erica, and I know you will one day, when you meet Erica, you will realize she's one of the kindest, sweetest, most amazing people on the planet. I mentioned I have 3 kids. I will tell you, all 3 of my babies, Sterling Sylver, my oldest son, Maximus Sylver, our middle son, and Prosperity Sylver, our daughter, 7-month-old daughter, all 3 of the children were born at home at Prosperity Palace in the bathtub via hypnosis. There's proof for you. No drugs, no doctors, no pain. In fact, the births were so wonderful that as a gift to women everywhere to show they had a choice, we streamed the last birth live online, very tastefully, nothing distasteful to see. You can find it if you search on YouTube for Prosperity is Coming, you'll find the video, and it's just beautiful. And it just goes to show you that it doesn't need to be difficult. Things are supposed to be easy. They don't need to be tough. And I want you to realize that not only what you focus on expands, but reality is created by validation. I could take any one of you, of the hundreds of people that are on this webinar right now, I could take any one of you, and within a year, by reprogramming your brain to take new actions to produce a different result, within a year, you would be a millionaire. If you would like me to pick you, type into the chat, pick me, pick me, pick me. Because I don't give gifts away to people that don't appreciate them or even want them. Because you see, I've done it again and again and again and again. I have countless students that I have programmed to be multimillionaires who hold tens of millions in real estate, who have created businesses worth hundreds of millions and have done hundreds of millions in sales. In fact, if I had known that GoToWebinar didn't do videos, I would have done this differently. And forgive me for being a novice. Again, I'm going to do something tonight I don't do because I usually only speak live. I rarely ever do any kind of a conference call or a webinar. So the gift we have for you tonight is crazy. I'm praying we're doing the right thing. The gift is such a great value that the only concern I have is that it's such a ridiculously small investment that people won't take it seriously and won't follow through to the extent. You know, like I said, the retail investment for Turning Point is $3,000. And one of the reasons that it's $3,000 is that I know if people have $3,000 at stake, they will take an action. because of Anthony's love for you, his care for you, because he knows it's the one thing that will protect everything else he's taught you and get everybody to start succeeding more. He's convinced me, he hypnotized me to give you an offer at the end of this webinar that is, again, it's a low, in my opinion, very low, 3 figures. It's not even 4 figures, it's 3 figures. So you want to stick around, you want to hear about it, plus there's $1,000 worth of additional home training materials you're going to receive, plus it will allow you to unlock a lifetime relationship with me. I was going to show you a video. I'm going to skip over it. I was on Montel Williams years ago. You can tell it's years ago because of that beautiful, beautiful haircut. I know you can't hear it, but I'm going to kind of narrate. I've got a bunch of students on here, and the first students that I have are a couple that when they met me, the young man that you were just looking at, the young man came from Colombia. He didn't speak a word of English. He came to the United States with $50 in his pocket, and by coming to the seminar and learning what I taught him, he and his wife created a circumstance where at the point of this video, he and his wife owned $5 million worth of real estate. I didn't teach him the real estate side. He couldn't make the real estate side work until I had taught him the programs to change his mind, taught him the programs of how to sell anyone anything, taught him how to negotiate at a much deeper subconscious level so that he could really leverage his powerful skill set. So if you're a real estate investor that has succeeded, congratulations. If you're one that hasn't succeeded, I can help you. And if you have succeeded some, I can help you a lot. By number one, reprogramming your brain to be more confident, more focused, to be able to see through the matrix, see the deals, and also to increase your ability to communicate to others with such influential communication strategies, people beg to do deals with you. The next gentleman in this video is a man who, the same thing, he'd gone to tons of real estate seminars. He'd invested tens of thousands of dollars in training and learning about real estate, and it wasn't working for him. And he just didn't believe in it. He didn't think it was going to work. He thought that what I was talking about was nonsense, except he had the intelligence. He had the belief that maybe there was something that he was missing. And so he met me in 2000. And he had a net worth of about $50,000. It's misprinted on the Montel screen, but he had a net worth of about $50,000. And through what I taught him about not only programming his own mind, about also increasing his ability to influence. And when I talk about influence, I want you to know this, that it's not just about selling things. It's about every area of your life. The reason that my wife and I have such a remarkable relationship is we both are masterful communicators. We say what we mean what we say. We don't get upset about things that aren't really going on, and we keep things compartmentalized so that the little thing isn't the worst. That last real estate couple now, these days, controls over $25 million worth of real estate. Now, this last student that you're seeing, and I know you can't hear the audio, so I'll narrate it for you. This guy came to one of my shows, an entertainment show in Vegas. He didn't believe in hypnosis. He thought that what I was doing was fake, and he just thought there's no way this can be real. Except what I tell people is, what if it is real and you don't believe in it? It doesn't make it go away. It just means you can't use it. What if it is real and you could harness that power and you could actually leverage it in business, whether it's an online marketing business, whether it is real estate, the stock market, webinars, speaking, training, whatever it is, because it's applicable everywhere. I helped Jerry create a business that went from zero to over $100 million a year through the things that I'm teaching you. So if you don't believe this is real, I promise you, I said it before, I could take any one of you on this webinar right now, I could take any one of you, and within 1 year, make you a millionaire. Except here's the catch, and here's the hard part. You've got to do what I tell you to do. Every step of the way, you've got to do what I tell you to do, and some of the stuff is going to be counterintuitive. I want to give you a big gift here, and if nothing else that you take away from this webinar, I want you to take away this piece of knowledge. It's the most important piece. It's the piece that you cannot become wealthy without it. Here's the piece. People ask me if you could only teach me one skill. And by the way, the second thing you need to get what you want are the proper tools. You need the proper tools for the task at hand. In relationships, relationships are built on agreements. The stronger the agreements, the better the relationship will be, the less grief and turmoil there will be. Here's the number one tool for making money. Master this tool. You could do anything. You could do internet marketing. You could invest in real estate. You could be a speaker. You could own your own brick and mortar. You could own your own restaurant. Master this skill, and guess what? The world is your oyster. I want you to write this skill down. It is the skill of irresistible influence. Irresistible influence. It's the ability to sell anyone, anything, at any time. When you invest in Turning Point, the online version, and I'm also going to give you 2 tickets actually to come join me live at one of the live events, I'm going to show you the powerful skills of irresistible influence, and it's going to boggle you how powerful they are. I'll tell the audience I'm going to bring somebody up on stage, a random person. I'm going to sell them something they didn't even know they wanted, and when I'm done, they're going to say thank you, and they're going to mean it. Next week, next month, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they're going to mean it. Do you want to learn that power? Do you think that could be useful for you? Do you think that can help you in whatever endeavor you're in? Heck, if you've got a job, would you like to influence your boss to give you a raise? If you are buying a major appliance or a car, don't you think that could be used to negotiate a better price on that major purchase? How would you like to influence your mate to give you more? I also want you to realize that influence is not getting someone else to say yes. No, I'm going to teach it to you at a deeper level. And here's the definition I want you to think about. I want it to resonate. I want it to echo inside of your mind. Influence is getting someone to say yes. No, there's a deeper level. Influence is getting someone else to ask you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. Whoa. What if you were so good at influence that you didn't have to sell? That literally the way you carried yourself, the way you communicated, people literally said to you, you know, I don't know if you're selling anything, but if whatever you're selling, I'm buying. That people, if you're a real estate investor, because of the way you communicated, literally said to you, would you take my home, nothing down, please? If you'd like to learn that depth, that level, that intensity of the skills of influence, then you have to stay with me another 5 minutes because I'm going to change your life forever. I told you there's 2 reasons that I was on this. The 3rd reason is Anthony and what I've seen him do and the success I've seen him have and the success in his students that I've seen him have, which is why I'm about to do something that I won't do again. It will be for a very limited time, and we're going to shut down the offer very soon after I make the offer because I told him that was my only requirement is do not leave the offer open. It won't be here for many days. It's a very short window, and I'm not going to tell you how long the window is, although I've already predetermined it. It could be any time. It could be an hour. It could be 90 minutes. It could be a day. But I'm telling you, you want to take action right away because it won't be for a while because here's the challenge. And this is the biggest challenge I have in teaching people. When you attend a Turning Point, when you invest in the online course and they give you free tickets to come to the live event as well, I will teach you self-mastery. I will teach you how to control your thoughts and emotions. I will, through the products that you're going to receive, the audios, the videos, through the scripting that I give you, at the live event, I do it in person. I do all the hard work for you. I'm going to reprogram your brain with the thoughts of a multimillionaire so that you will do what a multimillionaire does to produce the results that a multimillionaire produces. There's no way around that. I'll give you self-mastery. You won't view the world the same way anymore. It will be impossible. I will teach you the tools that you need for better relationships, for emotional, mental, physical well-being. The Turning Point course is primarily a financial course because I know being rich solves a whole lot of other challenges. I'm going to teach you the skills of irresistible influence, how you can sell anyone, anything at any time. I'll give that to you. You're going to learn it, I promise you. You're going to know you've learned it. You're going to be excited about using it. You're going to be excited about applying it in every area of your life. Here's my dilemma. Here's my challenge. And by the way, I want to tell you something before I show you what the 3rd thing is. Because I showed you and narrated, even though you couldn't hear them, I showed you that Montel Williams video, and I told you what those people's results were. 2 things. I'm not going to put my worst students on television. That would be silly. So certainly I put my better students on television, and I'm going to show you my better testimonials. That should go without saying. The government requires that I tell you the average result of the average student that goes through my course. If I show you a great result, I've got to tell you the average result. So I'm going to tell you that. I also will tell you the average result of the average student that goes through anybody's course. Anybody's, Anthony's, anybody's, it doesn't matter. I'm going to also tie it up, let him go beyond that. I'll give you the average result of the average graduate with a PhD. The average graduate with a PhD from Harvard or Yale or Wharton School of Business. I'm going to tell you the average result of the average student. The average result of the average student is about 10% of their potential. And the reason is the majority of the people do nothing. They never do anything. Here's the thing. Some people do a lot. Years and years ago, 30 years ago to be specific, I invested every single dime I had, $3,000. I was 23 years old. I invested $3,000 in another seminar. And that $3,000 has come back to me at over $200 million. I want you to type yes into the chat line if you would gladly invest $3,000 tonight, and I'm not going to ask you to. If you would gladly invest $3,000 tonight, if it came back as $200 million to you, and in my case, in less than 15 years, if you would invest $3,000 tonight, even if it was a stretch, even if you need to move things around, if it came back as $200 million, type yes. I'm not going to ask you for $3,000, not even close, not a fraction of that. But if you would, and you get it, type yes. And if you're not going to type yes, or you at least not in your head yes, go ahead and leave. I mean it. There's nothing for me to teach you. In fact, don't go on another webinar ever, because nobody can teach you anything. If you cannot grasp that simple fact that in order for you to get something, at a point you've got to put something out, then you'll never win. And I know that I'm sure all of you are going to stay, because you've stayed this long. You've been with us for an hour. You've stayed this long because you know you want something different. So here's the last thing. Years ago, when I invested that $3 grand in myself, 23 years old, every dime I had, I was terrified. If I could have known then that $3,000 was going to come back as $200 million, there would have been zero hesitation, of course, on my part. But here's the thing. What did I do differently than the ones that also invested $3,000 and didn't make $200 million? It's the last lesson, the last thing that you must do to create everything you want in your life. It's the thing that you cannot be taught to do. It's the thing that no one can force you to do. It's the one thing you must do yourself, and that is to take action now, present moment, because tomorrow never comes. In fact, circle that one. The biggest distinction between people that get what they want and people that do not is the people that get what they want keep taking action. Powerful, positive, productive action toward what they want. They never stop. We just keep barreling forward. Knock down 9 times, stand up 10 times is our adage. Well, I know if you're with me this far, and it looks like pretty much everybody stuck around the whole time. And Anthony, you told me that would happen, and I was kind of amazed because I've seen webinars. I've been on webinars where I've watched the numbers just drop, and I know that I've got somebody here at the house, here at the beach house, monitoring to be sure that the signal's coming through. And she said that she got dropped a couple of times. She didn't leave. She got dropped. So I'm guessing that we've hovered around the same number the entire time. I'm guessing pretty much everybody stuck around, which is a great indicator of who your students are and what they stand for. Who here realizes I'm about to offer up the opportunity for you to learn with me, to gain some additional tapes and DVDs and videos, and also take the Turning Point Online, my 2-day course, also to be able to come to a live event. If you realize I'm about to offer up Turning Point to you, and you give me permission to give you a smoking deal at zero risk to you, I'd like permission to do that. Just please type yes into the chat line. Yes, of course, Marshall. Please, here's my credit card. I like that. Nice. Thank you. That's funny. Good stuff. So here's the thing. I do know that part of the challenge for people is that there's many things going on. So I'm going to give you some gifts. And I want to tell you what those gifts are before I tell you what the offers. I'm going to give you a bunch of gifts. Some of these will pertain directly to you. Some of these will not. I have a program. It's called I'm a Non-Smoker. It reprograms your brain in the course of 7 days to just get rid of the desire. If not for you, if you have somebody that you think you would like to help, I'm going to be giving all of these away for free. So if you'd like them for free, type yes into the chat. If you think, and I'll take a look, and maybe we'll give it to somebody who types yes into the chat space. So type yes if you'd like to get this for yourself or someone that you love. This next gift I'm going to give away tonight is called I Am Permanently Slender. It will help you to take off a pound to sometimes 2.5, 3 pounds. We've had massive results every single week by doing 3 things. It programs your brain to eat less and better. It just makes you want the stuff that's healthy for you. It programs you to move more. It also programs your mind to psychosomatically process the food you eat differently so that your brain controls every function of your body. There are people that eat whatever they want to eat, whenever they want to eat it. They never gain weight. It's because their brain is wired differently. It will help reprogram your mind. This is my self-hypnosis training video. It is a video. Over 1 million of these have been sold worldwide. Do you want to overcome insomnia, bad habits, panic attacks, biting your nails, any number of bad habits? This will help you in any area, even the stuff that I haven't covered. This will help you reprogram your brain, relax your body, increase your confidence. If all Turning Point did was make you 10 times more confidence, it'd easily be worth the full $3,000 investment, let alone the ridiculously small investment that I've agreed to with Anthony and his students, you. This video has sold for $80 all around the world. I'm going to give this away for free. If you'd like this training video for free, type I want the self-hypnosis video. type that into the chat. Maybe I'll give it away to somebody who puts it in the chat. I see a couple of people saying, yes, I want the self-hypnosis video. I know that's a long one to type, so you see they're all coming on now. Here's something very cool. How would you like to have an idea in a single moment that made you over $100 million richer? Back in the mid-90s, I had a belief, and it came from my own experience, that most people didn't have what they wanted, not because they didn't know what to do, it's because they couldn't get themselves to do it consistently. And so I created a program called Passion, Profit, and Power. It is the home study course for Turning Point. It's the foundational course, and it not only teaches you the skills for better relationships, more money, emotional, mental, and physical well-being, it actually programs you on a subconscious level to actually be that new person. So rather than forcing yourself, it's instantaneous transformation. The investment is $220. If you want Passion, Profit, and Power, just type yes, PPP, in the chat line. I'll note who is typing that in there, and maybe that's the gift I give to you. This is called How to Hypnotize Others. We teach people how to hypnotize others. We teach people powerful skills of communication that are irresistible. This video is a full-length training video, sells for $80. I'm going to give that away for free tonight. I'm racing. This conversation I'm having with you that we're wrapping up in under 90 minutes is actually a 3-hour lecture. And the live lecture is a program called Power Programming Live. It's 3 full hours of training, sells for $200. If you'd like this $200 gift, say yes. Say, oh, yeah. And all right, here's what you really want, badly. You need this badly. You want this badly. If you want this badly, put it in the chat, because I really only give this to people that want it. Say, I want this badly. I'll wait. This is called The Secrets of Persuasion and Influence. This is a 3-part program that your whole life, the success for you from this point forward, is absolutely resting on you having this in your hands as quickly as possible. Here's what this is. It's 6 full-length CDs, audio programs, that teach you the most cutting-edge techniques of influence ever created and program them into your subconscious mind so they become your language pattern. There is a full-length workbook that shows you how to apply this to every area of your life, whether it's negotiating, whether it's influencing somebody to buy or sell real estate. You can use this in online copy on squeeze pages and internet marketing. There are 3 full-length DVDs. One teaches presentation skills, public speaking, the highest paid profession on the planet. The second DVD teaches cold reading. When you attend Turning Point, whether online or the live event, you're going to get to do both. When you do, I'm going to teach you how to cold read. I'm going to teach you how to read people's body language that they don't even need to open their mouth, and you will know what they're saying. The third DVD is a DVD that teaches people the powerful, powerful, powerful skills of embedded commands. A technique that is so powerful, it is literally irresistible. When used properly, you can sell anyone anything at any time. If you want this badly, say, I want this badly. I know you won't be able to hear the audio. I want you to get a glimpse of what Turning Point is like and the fun that we have at a live event. I pray that you have seen that I have done my best to make the entire webinar entertaining. I promise you, every time we get together, you are going to have so much fun. You are going to learn so much powerful information. The time is going to fly by, and you're going to wish that it could go on for days and days and days. You're going to learn how to program your mind on a subconscious level to think the thoughts of a millionaire, so you'll do what a millionaire does and produce the results that a millionaire produces. You will also learn total control of your thoughts and emotions, how to use PND, like I mentioned before, psycho-neuroduplication, to change all of your thoughts and actions to produce those powerful new results. Like I said, this can be used to lose weight, change habits, and become a millionaire. We're almost done. We've got 2 minutes left. I'm about to give you an amazing offer. I want you to know it's going to be beyond generous on Anthony's part. You want to stick around these last 2 minutes, because these last 2 minutes are going to change everything. Here's the offer. Turning Point, my program that's been around for 30 years, changed hundreds of thousands of people's lives, is an online program. The online Turning Point is a $3,000 retail investment. And if you're in some remote place and you cannot attend a live, I promise you, you'll get massive impact. Certainly the investment for tonight, you're worth every dime we are suggesting to you tonight for the investment. We also, though, would love to have you come to a live event. The live Turning Point is coming up in a number of cities. Miami this weekend, actually. Coming up in Las Vegas, also Calgary, Canada, also Houston. I teach it personally a minimum of 10 times a year. Next year, we are ramping up, and we're going to be teaching in a lot more places. So don't get hung up on the dates or the locations. We are all over the place, and if nothing else, you can come to Vegas. Do it in Vegas. I'd love to have you there. The investment for the live turning point is $3,000. This is going to blow you away. The value is going to blow you away. The minimal investment is going to make you just grin. If you don't have your credit card out already, I would get it out already because we've got some big bonuses for the people that are first to take action. The live turning point, $3,000. I also think it's important that a spouse or significant other or a family member is on the same page. So I want your spouse there. The spouse is there, $3,000 investment, reattendance for a year, $10,000 value, total value, $19,000. Here is the final offer. I'm going to let you come not for a year. I'm going to let you come for a lifetime. I'm going to let your spouse come for a lifetime. Better than money back guarantee. If after taking the whole online course or attending the first day of the live program, it wasn't everything I said it was, I'll give you all your money back. Total investment tonight, $495. And I'm going to do all those products for the first people that move, $1,000 worth of value for the first people that move. Get to this site now, totalprosperity.com. totalprosperity.com. You got to get there now. You got to get yourself plugged in. I promise you it's going to be the best thing you've ever done. I'm Marshall Sylver. Write down totalprosperity.com. Go to the site now. It will not be up for a long time. Thanks, Anthony, for having me.
Hey, Marshall, we appreciate you being here. How about everybody, you know that we're giving away our $500 prize. Sorry, Marshall, when we first started, I always give away a $500 prize, just cash prize to my attendees. All of my students that stay here with us till the end, I like to reward them for rewarding themselves with knowledge. So we'll be announcing that in a second. But I want to, oftentimes what we try to do here is maybe take just a couple of questions, get some feedback. Do you have a few minutes that we could do that?
You know, although the jet is fired up, unfortunately tonight I've got to get out of here quick. I deeply apologize. I won't be able to answer any questions. There is another replay of the video on that site, so that should answer all their questions. I apologize for having to run tonight. I'm just in a bit of a pinch.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, everybody, tell Marshall thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, I'd like to see everybody say thanks to Marshall. Let him know that you enjoyed the training. All right. Looks like a lot of you enjoyed more. All right. Awesome. Hundreds of
Awesome,
thank
everybody.
you there,
Thanks for
Marshall.
having me. Have a fantastic night.
Good deal, man. We'll see you later. And obviously, everybody, you'll be able to stay on with me here for just a little while. And Marshall, if you need to hop off, that's perfectly fine.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody. I'll see you at Turning Point.
All right, everybody. So I want to get some feedback from you. I know Marshall is in a little bit of a pinch here. He's got to hurry up and go. It was kind of tough for me to get Marshall on here in the first place, simply because he's busy. As you can tell, he's on his way to his events. So I want to get feedback from you because obviously you guys have been with me for so long. So give me some feedback in the chat here. Obviously, I saw a lot of you say that you liked it. What was your, I guess, what was your turning point, right? Because I know a lot of you probably sat here, you listened to this at first, you were kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm really gonna understand this. I don't know if this is something I really want to do. I don't know if I really want to sit here all night. Yet I did watch the attendee number, and I hardly saw anybody leave. So what was the part about Marshall's presentation that really engaged you, and what is the reason that you're going to get Total Prosperity and start learning some of this stuff? Because I know I am. This is not something that I am skilled in. You know that I always tell you guys, I'm going to bring only people on that can teach you things that I absolutely cannot teach you, right? And I'm humbled by that. I absolutely don't mind saying, hey, I love to be your mentor. I love to teach you. I love to, empower you and give you knowledge and spend my time with you. But there are things that I don't know well, right? There are a lot of places, a lot of ways that I can improve myself. And so what I do is I go and look for people to help me improve. And then I feel like, man, those people can help you improve too. And that's the reason why I brought Marshall on. So I'm seeing all of you, I'm seeing all of you leave comments. I want to read some of them out to you. Adrian says that really what they picked up from this was realizing that I deserve this. So realizing you deserve to have success and deserve to be able to have success in everything that you do. Let's see. Just looking through some of these questions here. let's see. So a lot of you say his presentation seemed very genuine, very refreshing. That's very good. A lot of you are really, really intrigued by the 3 skills that Marshall taught you. All right. Live positive and believe in yourself. Raymond said, this evening I'm starting to believe you might be okay. So in other words, you finally believe I might be okay. I appreciate that. I'll have to thank Marshall for teaching you to believe that I'm okay. All right. I like the energy Marshall gave off. I'd like to take away all the negative influence. I was intrigued by the fact that we could change our thinking to positive thinking. Dusty said it's affordable. How many of you were shocked that it was only $495? Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with me. Say yes in the chat box if you were shocked, because I know if I see tons of you saying yes. Here's the thing. Marshall and I talked about this numerous times. And you know that I always tell you, look, I bring guest trainers on here. They're going to teach. They're going to give you information. They're going to give you knowledge, wisdom, capabilities, things that you can apply right now in your life. If nothing else, they give you the shift, right? They make you start thinking about the things that maybe you weren't thinking about. And even if you aren't using their training to learn more from them, they've planted that seed that, hey, maybe you can be successful if you change the way that you think. Or, hey, maybe, making money with YouTube or, Facebook or whatever is possible if you engage in it, right? So I am always bringing people on here that are willing to train, teach, and give value to you for the time that you spend with us, but they always have their own product, something they're passionate about, the thing that they're doing, the thing that they love. And so Marshall and I talked about this, and he said, look, really and truly, I normally sell this for $3,000. And I see a couple of you, Caroline says, you've seen this offered for $3,000. So that's, of course, look, there's a lot of there's so many great people that I guess that I can bring on here, but there's no one like Marshall. It's that simple. I will not bring somebody else on here for you to learn from or that can teach you the things that he can teach you, because there is truly only one of him. How many of you agree with me on that? I see that a lot of you've seen a lot of people that I've brought on here. Have I ever brought on anyone that's anything like this, right? I see a lot of you saying never. The only thing Marshall and I have in common is that we both were on television for quite some time. I do not have the 17,000 square foot house. I don't have a Rolls, and I do not fly on a private plane, right? They won't come to Jackson, so maybe I would if I lived in Vegas. But the point is he's a very unique person, and he has a very unique skill. He has a very unique ability. And so I really wanted to share that with you. So I'm very glad that all of you have seen that. Some of you are calling me a slacker. Why don't I order my own Rolls Royce? I live in a small town. I like to kind of fly under the radar. That's my, I don't like to be, everybody to know where I'm at and what I'm doing all day long. If I lived in Vegas or California, I'd probably have the Rolls. But at the end of the day, my goal was to empower you. And so when I was talking to Marshall about this, I asked him if he would discount it, because I know we have had people on here offering you products that were, $995 or, in some cases $2,500. And I want you to know that next week I'm bringing on a guest that's going to teach you how to get opt-in subscribers straight from Google, completely free, and he has nothing to offer you. How many of you are excited about that? Nothing to offer you. Teaching you to build your email list, no sale. He doesn't sell a product. He's not a product salesperson. He does not sell. He's never sold. He really hardly ever teaches. But he's so freaking smart, I said, look, you've got to come teach. That's just the way that it is. You got to. So I begged him. He's going to do it, right? So there are times when I'm going to bring people on there, and it's not my brother. It's somebody you've never even heard of, because he's not a guru. He's a student that's successful, that doesn't teach, that's not a guru, that doesn't have a brand, that's not selling anything, but that's willing to come spend his Thursday night with you and teach you how to be more successful. So hopefully you're all appreciative of that. When I talked with Marshall about this price, I asked him if he would discount this for you, because I wanted you to have the opportunity. I see a lot of you, when we do have guests on here that offer products for $995, you always say, I wish that it could be $500. I wish that it could be $500. And so, I asked him to go as low as I possibly could get it, and $495 was where we came up. How many of you have gone ahead and purchased this program tonight that are going to be at Turning Point? I know that I will probably attend these Turning Points with Marshall because I'm pretty excited about it myself. Likely I will have to pay my $495. But like I said, it's always good to invest, because when you invest in something, you're more apt to actually take advantage of it. Looks like Dusty is in, Teresa is in, Jason is in, Jerry is in, Don is in. Let's see. Caroline is in. Robert is in. Michael is in. Let's see. Okay. Looks like Ulrich is on the order page right now. Ulrich, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out here just so you guys know how in tune I am with my students. I actually wrote you back a support ticket answer today. So congratulations on being here. I believe you actually just got enrolled here recently, so congratulations on being here. Looks like Vernon is already an alumni. I bet if Marshall were here, he would be excited to see that there are some of you here that are already actually involved. Sean is in. Let's see. Yes, so a lot of you are asking if you get the online trainings. Yes, you're going to get all of the online training. So even if you're not able to attend the Turning Point event live, which you all know, I have a live event coming up October 24th, 25th. I've told you a million times over, you should be there. You shouldn't miss it. It's our Build, Send, Profit live event. It's phenomenal. There's no substitute for the live training, the ability, like Marshall said, for him to, spend time with you, maybe hypnotize you. I don't know. I'm going to have to go to the Marshall event myself just to experience it. But you always have the opportunity to learn online. That's the great thing about the internet. That's what's so phenomenal about having the internet, is the ability to access that knowledge, access those videos, access that training, and really do it on your own time, in your own environment, where you're comfortable, where you're not, nervous, where you're not worried about why you're missing work while you're at the event. All those kinds of things, your mind is free from, and you're able to really take in the information and put in the effort that it takes to learn this. So I'm very excited about that, and I was very excited that he had the online Turning Point available for you. Looks like Kenneth is in. Let's see. Terry is in. Carol is in for Turning Point. Looks like Michael says he'll be there. Teresa is going to be there. I guess maybe you guys are talking about you'll be at my event in October. That's phenomenal. Our next Build, Send, Profit live event, I'm going to try to get Marshall to come speak at. Short notice, so I doubt I can get him there by this October. But I know that it would be, how many of you would like if Marshall was speaking at one of our events in the future, one of our Build, Send, Profit events, combining our email marketing training with his? Okay, very cool. Very, very cool. I see a lot of you saying yes. One thing I want you to take note of, okay, because you're not used to seeing this. You're used to seeing internet marketers that they sit, and hopefully you don't feel this way about me, but they sell you something, and then they want to continue to sell you that same thing time and time and time again. Same thing, version 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, and every time you have to pay more and more and more. I want you to pay close attention down there where it says the Turning Point. Spouse comes free. Lifetime re-attendance. Did everybody see that? Say yes if you saw that. Lifetime re-attendance. Okay. What does that mean? That means you're spending $495 today for a lifetime of opportunity to learn at Turning Point. Very, very important for you to focus on that. Okay? Because Marshall does these events all the time. So there's tons of opportunity for you to be able to attend these events when they're in your city or when they're near you, okay? Very, very cool. All right. Well, listen, I am so glad that you guys enjoyed this. I was not sure what to expect because it is so different. It is so outside the box. But I felt like after months and months of kind of the same thing, internet marketing training, that you needed something to wake you up, to inspire you, to energize you, and to motivate you to take action and to move forward with everything that you've been learning. And I do believe that, if nothing more, his presentation alone was just inspiring and motivational. How many of you are motivated just listening to the presentation tonight that you're going to wake up tomorrow and do more tomorrow than you did today to work towards your own success? Very good. Awesome. So we averaged 330 on the whole call. Yeah, that's really good. Hey, Marshall.
Wow.
There we go. I don't know where he went. I thought I heard him. So yeah, very, very, very important for you guys to pay close attention to all of the things. I think maybe I had his computer. He's cutting his computer off. All right. Let's see. Hey, Nick, can we take Marshall off of presenter? All right, there we go. Very, very cool. Okay, so everybody, obviously Marshall is gone. He's not a techno guy, so he doesn't really know all about the computers. I don't even think he knew his computer was still on. Anyway, listen, I am so thankful that you were all here. Hopefully all of you are grabbing the Turning Point program. And listen, make sure that you are here next week, okay? Make sure that you are here next week. Because we've got a crazy good training for you. It's going to blow your mind. There's no offer. Nothing is for sale. How many of you will be here next week? Just say yes. Make a commitment to yourself and to your future and to your future success right now. Say yes in the chat box if you are going to be here next week for our training. Let me use some of the Marshallisms. Say, I want this badly. I want this badly. Just put it in the chat box. There you go. As long as you continue to stay engaged, as long as you continue to listen, learn, and show me that you are benefiting from these Thursday night trainings, I'm going to continue to do everything I've been doing for you, bringing on great people, bringing on great opportunities, and hopefully bringing on knowledge that can help you be massively successful. That's my goal every single Thursday night, is to leave you with inspiration, knowledge, and the ability to have more success tomorrow than you had today. So I want to thank you all for being here. I also want to announce our $500 winner real fast. Let me pull that, and then we will sign off for the night. Again, go to totalprosperity.com. You'll see it right here on my screen. I just typed it on my little notepad here since Marshall's computer is gone. So go ahead and go there, pick up your copy of this program. I'll put it in the chat box here. All right. Get involved in the Turning Point. I will make it my goal to be there myself. Jason says he's already got it. Very good deal. And I see a lot of you. Let me go through here to pick our $500 winner. I see a lot of you asking me about our event. How many? I saw somebody up there ask where. I think it was Caroline. You asked where our event was. Everybody knows about our event next month, right? Just say yes, you know about it. Okay, this will be the, obviously I see a lot of you saying you're going to be there. This will be the last, obviously the last time that we'll be offering tickets to the event, because we've actually almost sold all of the tickets. I got you. Okay, Caroline, you just joined. Yeah, Michael says the hotel has no more rooms. That ought to tell you that that we have a lot of people coming. A lot of people from our webinars. A lot of people from our from our Inbox Inner Circle class will actually be here for the event. So there are hotels around the hotel that we are at. It is in Buckhead, Georgia. So if you let's see, yes, you can bring your event. Those of you that have purchased tickets to the event, you'll be actually getting your tickets in the mail in the next couple of weeks. We actually are mailing them out. If you don't attend, we will be sending you a replay of the event, so you'll still be able to you'll still be able to get involved and watch the event if you do not actually show up. Let's see. If some of you are looking for, I know a lot of you have already grabbed Marshall's program here. You can go here if you want more information. I'm not going to spend any time on this, but buildsendprofitlive.com. If you go to buildsendprofitlive.com, you'll have the opportunity to check out a little more about our live event. This is right by Atlanta, Georgia. It's in Buckhead, Georgia. A great opportunity. Tickets are $197. $197, and that covers 2 tickets. But I'll let you in on a little secret. We're actually sending the tickets out in the mail next week, and you're going to get +1 bonus ticket. So if you have a third person that wants to come with you, they will be able to come. So buildsendprofitlive.com, that's where you can grab tickets to our event. Our $500 winner today, or tonight rather, is all right, our $500 winner is Vernon Young. So everybody please congratulate Vernon. Say congratulations to Vernon before you leave this room. Very, very good. I want to thank you all for being here. Obviously, like I said, I'd love to meet you in person. BuildSendProfitLive.com is where you can grab tickets. TotalProsperity.com is where you can get Marshall's program tonight at a special discounted price. Obviously, you all know that is legitimate because a lot of you have said you have already seen him offer this product for $3,000. So again, everybody, thank you so much. I'm so happy you were here. I look forward to seeing you all next week right here, same place, same time, with the same goal, teaching you, inspiring you, educating you, and helping you become more successful. So have a great Thursday night, a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.